Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to the Scrabble Players Championship of 2022. Never know how to introduce. I've done like 20 million different introductions to these tournaments. Anyways, this is round 7. I'm playing Paul Holser. We've played a lot recently. He's done a lot of work. He's really solid with the words and making his way up to the top. So yeah, always fun to play him, and we'll see if this is an exception to that rule. So yeah, Paul opens with a bingo of bunions, and I am stuck with a very weird rack to start things off, and I couldn't figure out if bookie was a word, but I didn't like it. But if bookie was a word, it seemed to me to be the best play by far, but it is not a word. So yeah, luckily I didn't play that, but if not bookie, what else? What to do? There's okie, which is just really annoying and super open. And then there are plays that just don't keep super well. And there's iota, which could set me up for a lot of points next turn. And then there's KOs, and I ended up playing KOs. There's also OK as an option. I ended up playing KOs because I just didn't know what to do, and I was trying to bingo next turn. And I was really unhappy with this play. It only scores 20 points. The IoT leave is gross. Really, the only thing that could happen that's good with the IoT leave is I draw into a bingo. So yeah, really not happy. I could play booty. I don't know if I consider that too much. I figured if I was going to keep one of the K or the Y, I would keep the Y. But this doesn't really give much back. Scores 20, same as KOs. And AIK is workable. I can score decently with that leave. Probably can't bingo all that often, but the thing I need to consider is that I don't need to go straight for a bingo in this position. The urge is there when your opponent opens with a bingo to try and bingo as soon as possible, and it's very important to try and do that, but it's not of utmost importance. So making a play like booty is okay, or even iota to try and set up scoring. It's totally okay. I don't even necessarily have to bingo to make myself even in score with Paul and come back in this game. It's likely I'll have to, but he could be stuck with some unworkable racks, and I could just score my way back into the game. So yeah, something like iota, I mean, sets up the Y in 2 spots and the K in 1 spot. So just YOK next turn at 9i is pretty nice. It's 26. And then there's this spot that probably not going to get that often, but if Paul does take it, he might be opening stuff for me. So yeah, I think in hindsight, I should have probably thought a bit harder, even though it took a long time, and maybe played iota. Yeah. So yeah, this might be questionable. Well, it's definitely questionable. And I think I would have done things differently if I had the position again. So here, Paul plays yard for 16. I immediately notice the L hook Liard and wonder if he notices it. And yeah, if I draw an L, I can make a play from H1 potentially and open the board. So that seemed pretty nice. And here, I drew actually pretty decently, but no bingos play. So I ended up playing Koi, keeping pretty good leave. It's kind of hard for Paul to close everything next turn, but he's probably going to try. And hopefully I can bingo. despite him potentially trying to close the board. So Koi comes down. But instead of closing, Paul bingos with Unripest. And I start getting a bit frustrated here because Pruniest was there through the U. And that's obviously a more reasonable play. Paul just missed it. And yeah, now I'm just down by over 100. But I drew the Q and the blank with my pull, and I thought that I could just drop the Q and maybe triple pretty often. So that's what I do, filled with hope. And Paul, of course, blocks triple because he can. And I drew an O, and I play Rottener for 82. Seems like the best bingo. And now things are somewhat reasonable. I'm only down 35 points. But Paul hits me hard with Chief, 38. And yeah, I draw very poorly here. I draw 5 owls, and basically I either play Oaf to block the triple spot, or play something like EAU somewhere. And I could also play Obia to open a lane on the C column, but I can also exchange. Yeah, I think I probably overreacted here by playing Oaf. The scoring spot is big, but he might not have a great play there. It's an F, after all. F isn't a great tile. This does score, but AEISU can go very, very wrong. So getting rid of the U is probably a bit more important. So playing EAU probably in either of these spots. I feel like it kind of sucks to play O here and sort of block the board from being opened over here. But it's even worse to block the R and the P as floaters for me to bingo next turn. So yeah, I don't know. Might have overreacted here. It's possibly okay. But yeah, definitely not in a very good position. So Oaf comes down. And yeah, Paul just gets extra points for his constant dump, which again was very frustrating. Felt like I either was doing stuff wrong or getting punished for doing stuff right. And I draw into this rack, and I play Amu. Again, not happy to block these floaters, but now that Blend has come down, at least there is a spot on the O column. And Blend was the first L that was played, still aware of the fact that Liard plays are possible down the line. So I play Amu, and here Paul just takes the triple out and scores some points with either. I draw the X and a G to go with it, and I play X. Could have also played Xing, but I really wanted to leave these lanes here. And if I can just draw a vowel, I might be able to bingo. So yeah, let's run a sim. I think I actually looked at this game during the tournament because I was just kind of confused. But yeah, X looks fine. And yeah, Paul responds with O. And I was even more frustrated by this play because it doesn't seem to do anything good for Paul other than get rid of the letters he wanted to play. So we got this lane now, and this lane. We got the Liard stuff. And I feel like he's giving me opportunities. So instead of being frustrated, I should probably have tried to take advantage of what I perceived to be tactical mistakes, which might not have even been tactical mistakes. But yeah, I draw pretty poorly, and I analyzed this position with Kenji Matsumoto at the tournament, and he thought everything was okay until here, but that I should play something like paired to set up an S-hook with spared, which makes a lot of sense. That was not on my radar, but yeah, leaving some play on the left part of the board is pretty important here, because right now we're condensed to the bottom right. That might go away soon. I mean, it did go away. I played find and just allowed everything to be blocked at once. So I could do something a bit more desperate, such as paired, which keeps a worse leave but sets up the S-hook. But here I took some points for find. Tried to leave parts of the board open, but mostly was trying to score. And here Paul plays outlive, which does address this lane, but creates this lane through the E. So if I draw something, I'm good. But I drew the J, so I was able to score, but not bingo. So I play Jaeger. This really cool play of Scrapyard is available. I can even redraw it next turn after Jaeger, but I didn't ever see it, but it's pretty cool. Here, At was played by Paul. Pretty good find. Putting an A on R isn't like intuitive. Scores some points and actually prevents plays like paired that I could have played a couple turns earlier to reopen the left part of the board, and now I'm just in a complete hole here. But again, these L's are being played by Paul, and there are a couple left, and I'm not drawing them, so I don't have this Liard possibility, which at this point I'm kind of convinced he hasn't seen. So I'm still hopeful that I can potentially make some scoring play here with Liard and surprise Paul and come back in the game, which is why I play Sup for 24, hoping to catch him with only 1 point tiles, as the play of At suggests, and try to draw an L for Liard. But this play backfires horribly, because Paul drew the Z and plays Zips for 75, and the game is pretty much over here. And here I don't draw an L, and I just play Oka, setting up another L hook and an S hook, just hoping for some miracle. But I mean, the game is totally over. I should probably give up, especially with these unseen letters. I'm probably just giving Paul something that he doesn't have. So this is a really bad play for spread. This is a frustration play, and I should have done something else. That didn't accomplish anything because the game is just over. And the tournament's still young, and I need to protect my spread. And this play is horrible for spread point differential because it just gives Paul so many good plays so often. So Oka comes down, and Paul ends up playing Mezzaglia, which was really the cherry on top. He was very frustrated with himself here because he just has a bunch of Loco plays. He just wasn't 100% sure Loco was a word. And yeah, Mezzaglia is the best bingo and the only bingo that doesn't involve the Loco hook. So it's a good find, but he thought better of himself after the game. He was like, yeah, I just took the win. I just wasn't 100% on Loca. And I mean, this is good for me because, again, 21 points down the drain for Paul, but I was just really frustrated that this game was lost and didn't seem like I had any good reason to be getting decimated. So yeah, this is a common trope throughout this tournament. I really struggled to retain my composure, during games that weren't going my way, and it's definitely not psychologically strong enough to perform at the level I wanted to. So Liger, Glia are fine here. They're both the same. I'm blocking the outplay of Ted for 4, and Paul plays. What did he even play here? He played OD. It's so funny. I wrote down that he played Outlive again. Kind of weird. But he played OD for 5. When I saw Admix as a possibility, pretty cool. But OD comes down, and I play Relier and out, and I lose the game 357 to 477. So this is kind of similar to a lot of the games that happened in the World Cup, where didn't really do too much wrong, but definitely could have thought outside the box a bit more and maybe won the game. But very frustrating nonetheless. So I think this is the first time against Paul that I just had a horrible time throughout the entire game. I was just pissed the whole time. But outside of the game, I had no problem with Paul, of course. He's a great player, and I love playing him generally. But this specific game was really, 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 really frustrating for various reasons. But things outside of my control, I really need to not think about and not focus on and not obsess over. So that was my bad. And we're just going to jump to game 8 here, since it didn't take too long in this game, sorting through what happened. So let me just save this. So game 8, it's against John Karris, another opponent that I faced off against in the World Cup around a couple weeks prior. And at this point, this was day 2. So Paul Holser was the last game of the first day. And I think my record on day 1 was 3 and 4. Wait. 3 and 4. I won my first 2, lost my 3rd, lost my 4th, won my 5th. What happened in my 6th game? I won my 6th. Okay, so I was 4 and 3. So not a terrible day. But definitely wished I had done better than that. Man, my hair's messed up. This actually might be the last video you guys see me with this hair for a while. But yeah, I was 4 and 3. I was hopeful that I could have a good day on day 2, and I was facing John Karris, who, again, John Karris is a player who had some really good games against me, but that normally I was pretty confident that I would just be able to outplay and win pretty much all the games that we played. But yeah, if World Cup taught me anything, it's that wasn't as easy said than done. But I was calm, and I was hoping to win. So I open with Virtue for 26. Overplaying Thrive for a bit more, keeping a U because the H's and the HE combo is just really nice. This is a very defensive play. I don't really mind if he hooks an E onto Virtue. And John responds with Queen. And at this point, I'm like, wow, okay. What are the extensions? Queenside? All you chess fans out there. Queendoms, Queen Lear, Queen Like. I was excited about those. And even if an S was played with queens, queenside was still available. And I indeed had that S, and I decided to play Sheaf. I could also play Hofs. I didn't see that. And I can also keep the S if I really want to. Something like F, score some points and create another S hook. So we can take a look at this position. I was pretty comfortable with this, hoping that I would draw into queenside and or that John would not, or would miss it. But yeah, I was totally happy with this play. Take a nice lead. John's last play seemed pretty forced, so his racks certainly not necessarily very good. So FEU comes down, and here I play Gallic, which was a problem because I had Helical. So Gallic is a good play, except for the fact that Helical is available for 48. So yeah, this was a bad mistake. I just never saw Helical. And I played Gallic. Very big mistake here. And John responds with Doxy, 35. And I draw the blank. So I draw into we, IU blank. And here I actually have some extensions using the blank, but I opted to play we. I'm likely to draw a D or an E at some point, and even another I to extend queens. But I don't think I ever saw queenship. But yeah, we comes down, and John plays Menoras for 80, taking the lead. And here I drew the second blank, and for sure the play here is queenship for 57. But this was not an extension that I saw, and I played Puri. There are a couple bingos here, but almost tying the game up and keeping both blanks definitely better call than playing on the 2-row and scoring almost nothing. But queenship, definitely the best play. Keeping one of the 2 blanks and scoring 57 points. So I played Puri. I should mention queenship for those that follow my games online. I also post these games on cross-tables.com, where those who follow all annotated games can check them out in the database. So I need to still do that for my World Cup games, but I haven't yet posted all of them. So they're only available on YouTube, so you guys are lucky. So Puri comes down, and John plays apt, but not there. Where does he play it? Plays for 19. He plays just the P and the T for 19. And here I draw all vowels. And I'm just like, what do you do with this? I know that Gallica is there. And I actually have a bingo of aviation, which I don't even know if I saw, to be perfectly honest. But I'm not sure it's correct here. Maybe something like Ohio is worth it. But I ended up playing AI for 11. Yeah, I guess it was there. And again, I was hoping to draw an E or a D for queenside, and then to bingo later, or just drawing some W bingo, some high scoring bingo. Because after aviation, I wasn't very comfortable. If I had seen aviation, I wouldn't have been very comfortable with being ahead 201 to 175 with a huge triple open, having gotten rid of all of my firepower. So yeah, very questionable move. I could just play Gallica, but I decided to play AI here for a few less. And John plays Jin, using up an I and a D, and I'm like, maybe he had queenside. And here I draw W to go with both my blanks and my vowels, and I decide that I'm just going to get rid of one of the blanks now and score 34 points. Game is still well under control, holding the last blank, almost tying the game up. So I'm totally okay with this. I would have been happier to have seen queenship or have drawn into queenside. And here John plays it for 36, so makes a nice scoring play to come back. And troubles continue because here I have no bingos, and I'm not really sure how aggressive I should be, which of the plays using the Z I should make, or if I should play lone. But I was happy to leave the W open once again and just chill a little bit. Score 24, not open much, but it was very likely after Zoa that the W is going to get blocked with a play from 12A. So I was more ready to bingo with the FEU hook. And once a play from 12A happens, I'm less upset about opening a bunch of triple words because another one would be open as well. So Zoa comes down. And John actually just plays Yud, not even opening the triple, scoring 20. And this is my rack. And again, I just don't really know what to do. I have this really cool play of tailgated. Oh, that's awesome. But it does keep 2 ends. I can just drop an N for 18. That looks really good. I didn't see that. But I decided to play Ant to score some points and open another bingo lane on the end column, which I wasn't happy doing because now I'm finally blocking my queenside extension, knowing that there's only 1 D to draw and that I only have 1 blank left. But playing off the N is definitely the call here. It's also 18 points. And I just didn't consider it. So I play Ant. And Berm comes down for John, just getting rid of consonants. And this is, wow, this is exactly the rack I drew. I love when that happens. Happens pretty rarely, but Quackle gave me my exact rack. And I played Burling for 65. And I'm comfortable. I finally bingoed and haven't opened something huge. And it seems like John's struggling with his racks. So I feel like the game is at least even for me. So John plays Gay, tying the game up. And I draw a very interesting rack. Lots of A's. And I start to get a bit worried about my chances here. Of course, John hasn't been scoring well. I mean, he's been scoring decently, but it's possible his rack's pretty good at this point. And the obvious play seemed to be Oak 36, setting up an S hook. And the problem with that is if I don't draw an S, John has the rest of the game to go for huge plays on the first row. But if I don't draw an S, I'm losing to a lot of FEU S bingos as well. So I wasn't super unhappy with playing Oak. But I don't know why I didn't just play Oka. Actually, I think I know why. There's some overlaps like DOGE that could be really hurtful. I decided to play Rake. The problem with Rake is it's the same issue of setting up an S hook. It sets up a D hook. There's the D hook on few. So like, if I'm not drawing a D, this spot is all John's. So I think I really overthought this position. I didn't keep a consonant. And I probably should have just gone with Oak and flipped a coin pretty much because I'm actually not in great shape here. I was trying to do too much by not creating a big S hook. But it didn't matter. John played, oops, not that, but Contus for 74. I was not going to block that no matter what, but maybe I could have drawn into something better than this rack. And maybe I would have had a chance in the end game. but yeah, I think things were already pretty much over with John's specific rack there. So I play Lava for 28. I don't actually know if that's the best play. Indeed it is. Sorry, 27. Keeping 000, just blocking like Dong sort of plays. It's just so bad to keep 000. Here, John plays Dogs for 42, which I think I saw as well, which is an issue with playing Rake. And I play Ono. And here John goes out with Went for 9 and wins the game 428, 377. So another very, very disappointing performance. Definitely didn't play this game well. Missed helical, missed queenship, and made some very questionable decisions along the way. And yeah, lost with both blanks even. So yeah, not easy. Not easy against these guys. And started off the day with a loss. So kind of depressing, but there's still the entire day left. I could go 6-0 and be 10 and 4 after 2 days, which is really good. But it's really bad to lose game 1 against one of the lower rated players in the field. Yeah, and that's it. I guess hit the 30-minute mark, so I'll end the video here, and I'll see you guys with round 9 and or 10 next. So thank you for watching.